So I got entered into the full self-driving beta program beginning of this week on the 11.3.6 version. I think it's 23.10.12 maybe as a base. Pretty excited to get into the program. I'll say it's been mixed with actual driving. Overall, it's very impressive for what it is. It's my first time with this. I have just under 3,000 miles on my Model Y. Like I said, got the beta beginning of this week and probably have less than 200 miles of it driving. So initial impressions, my first drive went terrible. I was super excited about it. I was trying to film part of it, and I was holding my camera in my hand, and apparently it didn't like that, so it said I wasn't paying attention and wouldn't let me use it anymore until the next drive. After that, I've not got any inattention warnings, or other than just like the apply pressure to the steering wheel nags. So it's, like I said, it's not the best start, but it was okay. I have a 15-year-old that's learning how to drive now, and I kind of feel like it's very similar to that. Some things are great. Other things, you just question why is that happening? Like just there, the stop sign, instead of being assertive and going, it waited for the other person to go, which is fine. It worked, so I just pushed it through. I have had to stop it from pulling out into traffic when there's oncoming traffic a couple times. One of them, there was a bush that was creating the obstruction. Another time, the car was there. It showed it on the visualization, and they're getting ready to turn, but it wanted to turn in front of them. And the third time, it was just a unprotected left turn that it was creeping forward to visibility and then went while there's still a car coming. On the highway and higher speed areas, it's been great. The only issue I've had is actually, I think, more related to routing than the system itself, and that there's some new construction here on 37 where they've made it a freeway, and so there's underpasses, and it's wanting to get off on the exit ramp and then go around to the entry ramp instead of just staying on the highway. So having to keep it from doing that. And then the other issue that I have, or I guess opportunity for improvement, let's call it that, is the way it accelerates and brakes. It's like a jackrabbit. It's like a new driver that just wants to get up to the speed and stay there. So instead of like modulating the speed and like, okay, the speed limit's 55 here, but between this stoplight and the next stoplight, we don't have to get up to 55, right? Especially if the next stoplight's red. So what it'll do is, if this one's red, it'll stop and then accelerate aggressively to get up to, the 61, 55 mile an hour, whatever it's going to get to, and then brake aggressively at the next stoplight. And with that way of driving, I found it to be significantly less efficient than when I drive. So I haven't looked at the numbers closely yet, but like my average watts per mile going into this over the last 2,600 miles was 246, and was actually going down. I was averaging probably in the low 200s on most of my drives prior to getting full self-driving. It's now average 247, so it's gone up by once, and in just the few days that I've been using full self-driving, I haven't seen a watt hour per mile less than 270 with full self-driving. So it's less efficient, which is odd. I figured that they would have it programmed for efficiency as well. So I think that's something that future updates can do, is maybe have some ways to adjust the driving curves. I even changed it to chill versus regular driving. I put it on the less aggressive lane change, and still accelerates just as hard and brakes just as hard. And with the hard braking too, it doesn't maximize regenerative braking, so it's getting into friction brakes instead of using just regenerative braking. So not only are you not driving as efficiently, you're costing yourself money by not regenerating as much. Like here, it's, you know, if it planned a little better, wouldn't need to do that. But you're costing yourself electricity, you're costing yourself wear and tear on your friction items for the friction brakes. So overall, like I said, I'm very impressed for what it is, right? It's the first system of its type. There's nothing really else that compares. You know, Blue Cruise and Super Cruise and all those other systems, you know, allow certain things in very restricted areas. You know, Full Self Driving is the only one I'm aware of that works in all environments, you know, outside of, you know, the fully autonomous ones that have, you know, the LiDARs and all that stuff on there. But even those work in restricted spaces and are programmed to avoid difficult situations. So go and keep playing with it. I'm really excited to, you know, be a part of the beta program. I'm sending my feedback, you know, whenever I have a disengagement. So excited to see how it progresses, you know, see how 11.4 is compared to this one. Assuming that will be released to the general public at some point in time. But yeah, I'll keep figuring out ways to make videos. Apparently it's okay with this filming technique versus holding it in my hand. It's not yelling at me, saying I'm not paying attention. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. So if you have any questions about anything, happy to try to answer them. You know, I'm by no means an expert like Dirty Tesla or any of those other guys that have been doing this for a while. We do have some interesting roundabouts in this area that once I become more comfortable with it, and maybe start with some lower traffic times, I want to take you through that to see it's like some double dog bone wish roundabouts or something, where you like cross over into oncoming traffic and go like they're hard for human drivers. So we'll see how the system handles it. But that'll be in the future once I have a little bit more confidence and know how the system's going to react a little bit more. So with that, just going to be boring highway driving, getting to work. But yeah, hopefully continue to make some videos about this and learn about the system.